Yeah, I mean, I think it's a basic movie, and so it's got so. But I guess audience ratings for season one actually was like,
Oh, I think somebody's joined our chat. All right. It's not supposed to be an open chat, but somebody's joined. Looks like they're connecting.
oh no, yeah, you can change it. You can change it to not to something that's not an open chat if you wanted to do. Um,
Yeah. All right. Yeah. I just closed it, but oh, okay. Well, he's already connected to us now. I just closed the chat now, but he's like already on. Can you hear him?
he's ne- he's just he's never
He's just casually there.
yeah he's never
I'm
just
open to
hello.
it. I'm open to it. Let TNT get crazy, a little bit explosive in here. Oh, okay. It's acting weird on my side. I don't know.
Uh,
It's reconnecting. It's having a connection issue. I
no,
wonder
but
if he watched the TV show. If he enjoyed it, I would love to know why.
well, he's just joined it, so well, he's
Yeah, yeah, but he's like,
or
is
whatever.
he? All I'm seeing is reconnecting right now.
Yeah, so I said the same thing. Okay, okay, now he's just okay. I don't think he can say anything. That's why he was going back and forth. What's happened? Yeah, because I guess he
Yo, I
disconnected and
literally just lost you and I had to reconnect you. This is like a
he,
mess.
I don't even know what happened there. Like,
Yeah, was he like a virus?
I have no idea. He's Agent Smith. I
Okay, so I've closed it now, so like
chitty chat
people
chat
can't
chat.
just join.
Well, I mean,
I
like
was like, it
I
wasn't
said,
bad, man. I was kind of open to it. I was hoping we could I was hoping that we could find somebody who actually liked the show because I did watch a review and it was literally like this person watched a completely different TV series. I was like, buddy, you made me feel bad. Like I should have enjoyed it. I should have been more sophisticated. But honestly,
it's
I
just
just, ugh.
it's just one of those. Maybe it just wasn't my show. I don't know. It was just dry. It was
Yeah.
just like, ugh, please let me do something else with my life. Yeah, in terms of the show, for me, it was maybe I'll go back and spend the time to watch it more, but I'm not right
Like,
now. There's no
don't
hope.
don't waste the hours, Tony. Don't waste the hours, T.
Fair point.
I'm gonna be honest with you. Don't waste it. Like even when I was doing other things, like doing like design and stuff, while it was playing in the background, it was like I just wanted to switch it off. Like it was I just wanted to switch it off. I'm gonna be honest with you. I could have just worked in silence. It would have been better.
Maybe. I don't know. Blackspot for me was just like I just didn't get. I don't know. Maybe there's something else. Maybe I'll have to go back and watch it some more because people are 89% rated on Rotten Tomatoes, and it was like, did you watch the first episode? I was like, ugh, can I
I
not?
mean, it does hit a lot of the strokes for the type of TV series that people like. I mean, I am somebody who can sit there and watch like what do you call it? Like those European murder mysteries that are like super duper dry. So like it does kind of fall into that scope. So I can understand why a lot of people would enjoy it. But for me, it was just like. Nah, maybe it's because I've seen so much media. So definitely, I'm a hyper consumer of media. So it's going to take a lot more to kind of impress me than other people. Like I can't just go in and with most horror movies and really like enjoy it. Like a really scary horror movie or with like a great storyline is super hard to come by. Most of the time you'll get the thing where it's not particularly scary, but it's technically a horror, but the storyline is so good. So it's like what I look for in a horror movie and my expectations are so different from other people because I'm like a horror fanatic.
Yeah, I mean, but he was my thing that never makes sense to me anymore. Like in terms of obviously we live in the 21st century and all these things, right?
Go
Is
ahead.
that it's obviously with the minds, right? We live in the 21st century, and everybody has seen many movies to show you that working in the mines never ends well. Not even the longest.
Right? Right. You should have seen the people in the show. They were just like, yeah, we closed the mines for a reason. Like anywhere in the world, people who work in the mines die young. Listen to me, die young. Like, and he's like, I'm gonna
Right?
save this town by opening the mines. And they were just like, oh, okay.
Because if you think about the mines and caves and things like that, you go into the mines, you have this kind of you go into the mines, you go in there and you work in the mines or whatever. So let's say you're able to do a 10 to 20-year run in the mines. But then 10, 20 years later, you've now got like some kind of dust inhalant or something's wrong with your kidneys. Always is. You know, it's
Oh,
always
your lungs, especially your lungs. That was a big one.
your lungs are gone, you know? And so it's like you don't, by the time you're like 60 something, you're on your deathbed, dying a horrible type of death. And why? Because everybody's seen too many movies to always be like, oh yeah, working in the mines is the best idea. Because so for me,
Oh yeah, man, you'll
it's
be
just
drowning
so
in your like lung fluid and stuff. It's messed up.
it's so unrealistic to believe that okay now that this guy reopens the mines and everybody's like yeah I'm gonna work in the mines and it's like unless you're gonna pay me like 10,000 pounds a day what is the I am not gonna risk my life I might as well just be like you know what let's sell the fucking house let's leave
Yeah,
because
but
I'm
like
not
T, it's economic exploitation. They have no choice. The lumber mill was the biggest employer, and then they just closed it down, right? And then they're like, "Oh, we're gonna reopen the mines, and like this big company is gonna like support us and stuff." But they're still not gonna get paid like that real good money, and
what
it's just more risky. When they worked at the lumber mill, they were just cutting wood, like just chipping wood, man. So
yes
like they closed down the biggest industry in that town, and now they're reopening one that's like literally a murder death trap. And then you add the fact that there's the whole like mysterious dark magic
yeah
elements going in. Like
yeah
people gonna die. They're gonna
Yeah,
die.
but my point about it, just on the basics alone, you do not
Mm.
live in a you don't live in a fucking well you don't live in the
It's still not the
1950s.
1900s
You know what I mean? Where
or the
everybody
nineteen 40s, I want to say.
where there's less information available about the effects of working in a mine and dust and and you know coal mines and smoke going up your lungs and carbon monoxide and all these things essentially over after a period of time murdering you and then essentially your widow your wife and children your widows or whatever whoever's left in your family is going to be suing the big company and saying, well, you guys reopened the mine, and now thousands, and now at least you know half of your workers have like lung cancer, and so therefore
Yeah.
create a class action suit against you guys so that you guys can pay us off, even though it will
Oh
never
yeah,
save
hell
their
yeah.
lives, even though
That
it will
might
never
become part
save
of the
their lives.
storyline for the second season. Oh,
Because
do you know why it's called? Do you know why it's called Zone Blanc? Do you know why it's called Blackspot?
no,
Okay, so Zone Blanc, which is actually White Zone, which I think is the proper term for it. The town is in an area where technology frazzles a lot, so they have problems with microwaves. Phone signals very is like not that great, and like GPS is not that great. You know, there's
yeah,
real
like
places like that around the world where they just have
yeah,
really
yeah,
small, very, very little coverage. But like,
yeah. It's called
but
a
for
death
real though,
trap.
that's what it's called. And when you watch the
Yeah.
series, it doesn't really play much of a factor in the actual series. I mean, there were some times where people were all talking on the phone and all of a sudden the phone cut out, but it really doesn't play that big of a role. I mean, I thought it would play a bigger role where they couldn't contact each other as well, and like lots of bad things happened because they didn't
Well,
have like they couldn't rely on modern technology, but most of the time their phones work just fine.
okay, but here's the thing, man. Maybe, may obviously because it's only season one. Maybe this kind of thing maybe escalates a bit further because they open the minds and create worse things
No, like
in like in
no, the
season two,
zone, like the
maybe.
whole zone coverage is like okay, actually maybe when they're in the mines and they're trying to call people like the zombies are coming, um, they can't pick up the phone and then they run to try to grab the landline like please send help and you know like they have a really tiny police force by the way they have like a 5 people police force so I don't know where
Yeah,
they're gonna get
I know,
reinforcements
but
but please send help and then like a zombie like pulls out the wire from the only phone in like a gigantic area full of mines.
and the thing I always love about the police force and stuff like that is that, like, as when you were seeing him trying to, you know, like, what's the word? When you were seeing him trying to solve that murder, or no, to handle the, you know, the protest going on at the closing of the sawmill kind of thing, nobody respected him. Nobody. They were like, oh, all right, mate, yeah. You know what I mean? Like nobody respected them because like nobody. It was like, yeah, you guys aren't even. nobody cares what you're doing or what you think because nobody respects you guys. It's like, wow, it's unbelievable. And so,
Yeah, like in the series, it's kind of like it's like how do I describe it? Because I've watched the whole series. It's like it's more like they were just mad because they have to protect the mayor and all the stuff he's doing. I mean, technically speaking, there's not much they can do because even though he's the mayor of the town, his family like owns all the big industry there, so they own the lumber mill. So if he closes it down for whatever reason, even if it's just like oh, I just don't want to own this anymore, then like there's nothing they can do. There literally is nothing that they can do. So when she's coming down and she's protecting the mayor and she's stopping the protests and stuff, it's more like she's just doing her job, but everyone just sees her as like a lapdog for him. Also, her and the mayor do have some history and they bang later on in the series, even though he's married. But the wife is like, secondary. Like she's all like, "Oh, I'm the one who got him." I'm like I'm just standing there, and even though the wife is saying this, the wife is the blonde, obviously. I'm just like, yo, anytime she could call your man up right now and say, "Come get this," and he'll come drive in the middle of the night. He won't even tell you where he's going. Like you ain't one ish. You ain't one ish, babe.
That's the beauty, and that's what I do love that when you kind of like, yeah, oh, but he chose, but he might sleep with you, but he comes home to me, and it's like, yeah, but he's still, I guess, to be honest,
like he only comes home to her because she kicks him out. Like have you not heard these proud side chicks? He only comes home to you, babe, because he can't sleep there. Like, come on.
Oh God, yeah, that's very true. It's one of the.
Yeah, but like that's what it was like. Like it's like it took a while for them to kind of kiss and like have sex like near the end of the show. But like they just carried on like he wasn't even married. She was obviously divorced or like what I don't know if she was divorced or whatever. But like the daughter's dad lived abroad somewhere, and obviously the daughter blamed the mom why the dad lived abroad. I don't know. He might come back in the second season. But like they carried on like he weren't married. They met quietly at night. They had long conversations. They cuddled each other and they stared deep into each other's eyes. Listen, mate, his marriage meant nothing, right? He loves his daughter and stuff, but his marriage meant nothing. Even the dad of the mayor, right? The dad was all like, "Oh, I introduced you to my son and made you marry him. I made sure you married. I made sure he married you, and you're supposed to take care of him." Right? Listen, right? Like it was like a bride price type of deal. Like she ain't ish.
I think the thing about it is, yeah, this is the difference between having an affair and having a side chick. Like a side chick is just somebody you're having sex with. An affair is somebody that you clearly just want to leave your partner for. And,
Almost.
yeah, and it seems like that's exactly what this really is. Because obviously,
Yeah, to be honest, she was his first love. So it's like the reason why they didn't get together is because of the whole part where she got kidnapped and stuff. So it was like they were always meant to be, right? They were always kind of supposed to be. I don't think they're going to end up together at the end, but they were always kind of supposed to be, and like everyone else is secondary to that. So it's just one of those situations. So it's not even like it's like they can have an affair, but it's more like an old flame thing. They have way more history than the other woman does, and that history is so massive that it really just makes his relationship with his wife seem tiny in comparison. She was married to him for like let's say 20 years because the daughter is like 18 who went missing, but the other chick she's known him like since they were 18. You're talking more than a lifetime, yeah, right? So she can't compete with that.
Yeah, well, it's not even that though. It's one of those things where like, have you ever? It's one of those things. No, I never want to be. I would never want to be in a relationship where that person's met like the love of their life, or where they've met the love of their life, and maybe they had a fight or something, and so they split up, and then she's met you a couple of years later, and you guys get along well, kind of thing, and you guys get married, and you believe you're happy and stuff like that, yeah. But then she comes across the love of her life again, and it's like, yes, life has taken them apart, but it's like they still have this kind of undeniable connection that can be physically seen, and it's like. Oh, and because
you just feel small, man.
But it's not even that. You just know in the back of your mind. You just always know that you'll never ever be that person for her. and or
Yeah, you just can't
and
measure up. It's like a fire. It's like when they got together, it was like a massive, not even a fire, it was like a pyre that just burned everything to the ground. And then the earth is scorched and it's constantly smoldering. And when they meet again, you could just smell like the coal, right? But like
yeah.
when it's like with you, it's like a little cozy fire by
So
the
yeah,
side of the and when she
yeah,
sees him again, it's like she could just smell the coal when they were next to that pyre dancing naked like those pagan like crazy people. I don't know. But what's with you is like a nice sit by the fire, a bit of cocoa. You can't compare the
yeah,
two.
and it's always one of those ones where it's like everybody likes a comfortable flame, but really everybody wants the house to be on fire. You know what I mean? And
Yeah. Yeah.
and it's one of those ones where and so relationships like that are the if relationships like that are the worst because you know there's a massive difference. There's just this massive gaping chasm that you will never be able to cross. If you ever meet somebody like that, absolutely just be like, yeah, this was fun. I'll see you
Yeah.
later. You know,
To be honest,
and
you're like the third wheel in your own relationship. I've had to be the third wheel with friends. Like, no matter how many times you say, let's just hang out together, they have to bring their crappy little partner. I mean, I like their partners just fine. I'm just saying, like, they have to bring their crappy little partner. And it's like, you're just third wheeling it. And I feel like that's what it's like when somebody has so much history with someone else. Like, I've dated someone who had history with someone else, and it didn't bother me because the relationship wasn't serious. But, like, when they're still active with that other person, you're absolutely the third person in your relationship. You're the
yeah,
third wheel.
that's why in the invitation you tell them you can't invite this person, especially while they're standing right in front of you, right there.
Oh,
Yeah, you look them dead in the eye so that they know. You know what I mean? You're not invited. It's nothing against you. I just don't like you.
yeah, I don't like. I mean, we're all more mature now, but I feel like a lot of them just didn't really like. Maybe they just
Yeah.
didn't want to hang out with me alone because I guess I was like nerdy and boring, or I don't know, like maybe they're just attached to their partner or some combination of all of it. But yeah, it's so rude when you just turn somebody into a third wheel. It really sucks, and it's also unless I really get on with their partner, like I get on with yeah, I get on with some of their partners, but like most of the time, it's just kind of like, yo, you don't need to be here. Let's be honest. You have your own
Yeah.
friends. Go hang out.
Do you know what I do when I get stuck in a third wheel situation test? I turn into a wheelbarrow.
Now I just kind of make an excuse and leave, or I just don't show up. If somebody's like, I'm like, oh yeah, let's go hang out and do this, and they're like, oh yeah, I'm gonna bring Gareth. Yeah, I'm gonna say
Nah,
Gareth. That sounds
nah,
terrible. Blech. I'm gonna bring
nah.
Gareth with me. I'm gonna be like, oh yeah, let's not do it. It's like, oh, what's wrong? Like, don't you like Gareth? It's not like I don't like Gareth. It's just that it was meant to be like a friendship moment, not a you bringing your boyfriend who doesn't need to be there moment.
Yeah, I mean, I'm one of those people where,
Oh, girlfriend.
yeah, I just wouldn't want to be. Yeah, I do the same thing. I don't like riding shotgun in a third wheel.
Oh yeah, yeah. There's just something about it that's just so, ugh, it's just so lame. Like
It's like
I just have trauma from these particular situations, so I just feel some type of way, and I'm always gonna feel some type of way.
but
You third will like if we hang out and we
the
say
funny thing,
cool,
right?
and you third will me, mate. Nah, like we done.
But yeah, here's the thing about third wheel. It's much more better when you're not the third wheel.
Yeah, but I would never third wheel somebody because I know what it feels like. So if it's me and the girls or me and my boys or whatever, then I'm not bringing my man.
Okay, fair point. But yeah,
I mean, some dudes bring their girlfriend, but here where I'm living now, the girls really are kind of like the third wheel in their entire lives. I mean, obviously not all girls, but like a lot of them are kind of trained to survive until they can find a man to run behind, and basically you build up shop in his life. You're not necessarily driving your life. You just build up shop in his life. He's the protagonist of both your lives. So a lot of them are like that. So when I do hang out with some of my guy friends, they bring their girlfriend and she just kind of sits there quietly, or just like sometimes she talks to them, but she's like, she's at the side.
yeah, I mean, this is what people do. It's crazy. Anyway, so but yeah, in my opinion, I think the show is terrible. So
Yeah, it's rubbish. I think we've basically talked about everything we can talk about. To be honest, the fact that we talked so much about it was like a feat within itself. It's just I think we've beaten this dead horse real
yeah,
good.
I mean, having a dead horse would have made this show more interesting. but yeah, that's the show's dry. The show's weak. The show. I mean, the show's just too. Rather, the show's dry and it's just flat. It lands flat, and it's just like,
Yeah.
and that's my opinion of it. It's like it clearly wants to try and be something, but it just doesn't know what it really. But it just doesn't know how to really deliver it, and it has all the elements to be able to do it, but it just doesn't. But it just lands flat, and maybe that's necessarily. And the question is that to do with the acting, or is that to do with the story?
No, I feel like the actors were solid. I had no issue with the actors. I
My,
really do think it was the
I
story.
agree. Yeah, so it's like okay, so the story, so the writing is just terrible. Then, maybe
Yeah.
not. Maybe I don't know if it's terrible. I just think yeah, it just doesn't ring well a lot of the time. So
Honestly, I'm even sick and tired of just talking about this show now. I mean, what I want to talk about instead is Nightmare of the Wolf. So,
but that's the talk for another time, for another.
oh yeah, because
Yeah,
we could probably go non-stop on that because that was like
yeah,
they knocked that baby out of the park.
that was like yeah,
Real
obviously
beaut. That's what that was.
but yeah, that was a good one actually. I know the Wolf is pretty solid. Anyway,
Straight
but
up.
that anyway, well, I will go. I'll leave it there because obviously we can talk about Nightmare of the Wolf at another time at another date. Um, but essentially, Blackspot was a dead spot.
Black Zone,
was
Zone Blanc was a dead
was
zone. Was a zone dead.
Zone Blanc was a zone noir.
Womp womp.
Wah, wah, wah.
All right, we ready to close out?
Yeah, see ya. Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you, Explosive Nation, for watching TNT Talks Live. We are on stereo incredibly infrequently, but we're working on that. Well, I guess we'll see you over it. Well, okay, it's probably going to be posted on YouTube. Well, anyway, like and subscribe, and we'll see you later.
Okay, looks. Adios.
Adios.